A remote country house miles from the nearest hospital.
Oh my God.
I'm going to die, I think. I'm going to die.
A group of patients who believe they are seriously ill.
Ow!
Cancer.
I'm going to get it.
HIV.
There could be some blood on my finger.
Heart disease.
I can't breathe.
Paralysis.
I am not making it up.
Can a unique course of therapy convince them it's all in the mind?
There's got to be something wrong, isn't there?
They took my blood pressure and it was a bit high again.
Sarah's a hypochondriac. She constantly fears she's seriously ill.
I can feel that. I just feel as though I'm not getting enough air in my lungs when I get like this.
It's an illness in its own right. These days, doctors prefer to call it health anxiety disorder.
I'll have a twinge and my whole self will focus on that pain and think it's a blood clot. And even though I can laugh at myself thinking, don't be silly, it's not a blood clot, I can carry on doing things, but inside I'm just a trembling wreck thinking, it's like a different voice, it's like a split personality, it's like something's in me saying, yes it is, and I'm saying, don't be silly.
Hypochondriacs constantly seek reassurance. Husband Luke gets a familiar call on the way to work.
You all right? Are you okay?
You don't think I'm going to pass out, do you?
No.
Do you think something's wrong?
No.
But it just feels really bad today.
Don't worry about it. You'll be okay.
Mid-morning, and Sarah's off to see her GP again.
Sick, lightheaded. You'd have a brain tumour behind your eye.
Hello, surgery. Can I help you?
What if? What if? What if? What if?
She's had brain tumours in her eye. She's had a heart attack, stroke. She's had bowel cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer.
Sarah.
The worried well are a costly problem for the health service, taking up an estimated 1 in 4 visits to GPs.
I've had a lot of problems with my eyes again. Worst case scenario, like a tumour behind my eye or something.
Okay, the back of that eye looks entirely normal. Okay. It's 130/90.
Oh, that's quite high, isn't it, or not?
No, it's fine.
That will scare me now.
What? That I'm saying that's a normal blood pressure?
When
or
you
it's
say in
an upper
cases-
limit of normal?
Upper limit of normal, and that you haven't got any other problems, because then I'm thinking, maybe I have.
A borderline blood pressure, you know, even though it's normal upper, I know that that will be a can of worms.
And you know she'll be back again?
I know she'll be back next week. Yeah.
They took my blood pressure.
And?
It's quite high.
And what's high?
Well, it was the highest side of normal.
And what was that? What was
130/90.
Well, that's all right.
I thought maybe that's a symptom.
What?
Heart attack.
Well, just go to bed early.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't think my eyes are anything to worry about then? Okay.
And my most used word is symptoms of.
Single mum Laura is also desperate for treatment.
I'm getting anxious now looking at it.
Her problems began when her father died of cancer. Now she's convinced she's got it too.
I thought I had thyroid cancer, lung cancer. I'm so scared. What happened to Dad is going to happen to me. His body must have been absolutely filled with all these cancer cells, so some of it must have got through to me. And so it's just kind of like, I think I'm just waiting all the time for it to happen. So I may as well die. If I'm going to feel like this anyway, I may as well have an illness. Do you know what I mean? Really scared inside I am now.
When I wake up in the morning, I think about HIV, and when I go to bed at night, I'm thinking about HIV.
Kevin also needs therapy. A blood transfusion has triggered an obsessive fear of the AIDS virus, HIV.
I always make sure I thoroughly rinse my toothbrush off in case my gums have bled, because I don't want to get it on my wife's toothbrush or my daughter's, which is usually there.
He's had 3 negative AIDS tests, but still fears he could infect his wife and child.
I give it a good rinse off, just in case really I've got
cuts or anything on my finger, just to make sure that I don't put any blood on there, really, to pass on to her. Because there is that minute risk in my mind, it tends to rule my thinking. I'm scared what people would think, that people wouldn't want anything to do with me, that I would lose my family, my job, everything.
Now I think I've got ovarian cancer or something like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. But that's the latest one.
Before leaving for treatment, Laura's out for a drink with her long-suffering friends.
You know, I'm worried that I've left it too late. Like, if I have got cancer.
We feel like broken records because we're constantly telling her, you haven't got this.
And there's no amount of reassuring her that helps her.
There's got to be a reason for a tummy ache. There's got to be a reason.
We just want to go out and have fun and not talk about cancer or, you know, dying, or we just want to be normal.
Yeah.
It's hard, isn't it? It is hard.
I just want to feel normal.
But health anxiety can be cured with the right therapy. Dr. Florian Ruths from top London psychiatric hospital, the Maudsley, is piloting a long weekend of treatment.
This is the start of a really interesting experiment. We're bringing them together here in this place, far away from their normal environment, their comfort zone. Normally they're kind of near a hospital, near their GPs, near relatives and friends that they can seek reassurance with, and none of that will happen for them. Heart rate monitor.
The hypochondriacs will live together and undergo a series of challenging behavioural experiments.
I hope that they will find a way of getting back on track towards a normal life.
The fourth member of the group is Jane, a more complex case for the psychiatrists. 5 years ago, she collapsed and ended up in a wheelchair.
Half of me doesn't work, and that's that.
But doctors can't find anything wrong with her legs.
Who is that person who's a general practitioner to say that it's all in my head when they don't even really know me? They don't know anything about me.
Has your GP said that to you?
Yes. Oh, yes. And I've changed doctors now.
Husband Ian is now her full-time carer.
It just sort of changed, everything changed overnight. It just all happened so quick. Like you see on Little Britain, the character in the wheelchair jump out and sort of run up behind. I know she couldn't do anything like that. There's just no way. I don't think it's all in her mind. I think something's actually gone in her back.
Jane started therapy at her local hospital, but progress is slow.
Jane, have you considered that there could be a psychological factor in your condition?
I'm not mental. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with my brain. It's just my body, my back.
Yes.
And my legs, they suddenly wouldn't work. They've stuck pins all the way up my legs.
But it still doesn't explain your paralysis, is that right?
Yeah, no.
Do you think that Jane will walk again?
I would like to think that there is a possibility of this, but it's very difficult to say at this stage. What I think counts in Jane's favour is that she's motivated and she's a lady that is able to engage in therapy.
If they say to me it's all in my head, I personally think, stuff them. Because I feel that there's nothing wrong with me.
Hey, do you want me to take you back?
A group of patients who've used up hundreds of hours of GP's time.
I think it's going to be very, very tough for them.
Will therapy deliver the cure they so desperately need?
I just think there's a lump there, under my gland. Morning.
Oh, yeah.
A group of hypochondriacs have come to this remote country house for a long weekend of intense therapy. Their psychiatrist is Dr. Florian Ruths, a consultant at London's Maudsley Hospital.
So what's your trigger? Because yours was blood, wasn't it? Mine's cancer.
Headache, I've got a tumour.
Yes.
Pains in here, got a heart attack, I'm going to die.
Do you sort of feel as well you can't take, say, paracetamol?
I don't like taking tablets.
I don't. Do you feel like they're going to kill you?
Yeah, going to have a reaction to them and die or something, yeah. Iron tablet, you should have seen me trying to get them in me. I was convinced I was going to have a panic attack and die on the spot. It's horrible, isn't it?
Laura is first in for therapy.
I just want a doctor to feel that lump there and tell me that that's normal.
Dr. Ruths will try and challenge her beliefs about her body and cancer.
I've been getting like pressure in the top of my head.
Something's wrong with
Just
your head.
something, I don't know, a tumour or something, like I do. I do sort of think when I got the pressure in my head, have I had a stroke through the night? Is that normal? Now I've got these twinges in my glands. That's one issue, but it keeps taking me back to the ovarian cancer thing, that maybe this is secondary to that. The doctor said to me, if there was anything seriously wrong, you would really know it.
And what happened to the pain ever since you have been feeling reassured about that? It's gone. What's your explanation for that the pain went after the doctor reassured you?
I think that my mind just makes the pain happen. I want the pain to be there. And so my mind is making the pain be there, and I don't know how. But then, when my dad was sick, he didn't show any sign that he was in pain. You would never have thought he had cancer to the extent that he had it. And, you know, like I say, fit and healthy one week to being told you had 2 months to live the next, I just can't get my head around that.
How are you feeling now with regards to anxiety?
I feel really anxious.
Bit more than
I'm actually quite scared I'm going to have a panic attack. I'm not near a hospital.
Okay, well, let's see if we can sort of get through the next few minutes.
I'm getting all pains in my glands now.
Laura can't accept that her symptoms are caused by anxiety.
I just feel bloody awful. I can't have a panic attack. I cannot have one.
How did you sleep last night? Terrible. Really? What reason?
Oh, the usual.
Which is?
The big P word, pain.
Jane's psychiatrist from home, Dr. Lars Hansen, will take charge of her therapy.
If it's too heavy, I shall just say, I need 5 minutes. I'm going outside. Bye.
I'm here for it to be heavy because I've got to face my demons.
Oh, have you?
That's the only way we're going to get better.
Right.
What you?
Hi.
Jane. Lovely to see you. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Hurting.
Hurting, are you?
Yeah.
And you're ready?
Well, I'm not sure what I'm doing, but...
We'll find a way through it, I'm sure. I haven't been attending enough children's parties lately.
Jane stopped walking 5 years ago. Dr. Hansen hopes this might change if she overcomes feelings of anger and low self-esteem. He'll begin the process with balloon therapy.
Can I show you this sofa over here? It's full of balloons, can you see that? Yeah?
Yeah.
And what that illustrates is that all of us, we have automatic negative thoughts. Can you read that aloud for me?
People do not believe me.
Is that a negative thought that you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And can you help me with a few more?
I'll never walk again.
That's right. Do you sometimes feel that it's hopeless?
Yeah.
I think it is possible that she feels so anxious and stressed that she somehow expresses this through physical symptoms.
Cognitive therapy, it's just condensed common sense. If you hold on to the pin, Jane, you've now empowered yourself to pop these automatic negative thoughts.
I am hopeless.
Is that right? Try to find some counter-arguments for that.
I'm not totally hopeless.
Yes, thanks very much for that. You're certainly not. Why not?
Well, because I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I'm a wife. And I try to do my best.
Absolutely. Very strong arguments. Well done. Give it what it deserves. Give this idea what it deserves, Jane. Pop it.
But, well, that won't stop it coming back, will it?
I think you can try, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Try to see what it will do. Pop it. Good. Well done. Beautiful. Let's take another one. Are you ready?
People do not believe me.
Is that your problem or is it their problem?
That's their problem, really.
Pop it for me. Well done. Free to go.
Goodbye.
Dr. Ruths has been called upstairs.
I can't breathe. Please let me. I can't get my breath.
Sarah thinks she's having a heart attack.
Remember what the breath does.
Anxiety about breathing has made her hyperventilate.
What do you think is going on now? Do you think you're stopping breathing?
I don't know, I just can't get my breath. I just feel like I'm going to pass out. I just feel scared.
So is it that you're suffering from a serious illness, or you're just...
I don't know.
What do you think is happening?
I'm going to have a heart attack.
Okay. How likely is it that you're just suddenly going to have a heart attack when you're just in the middle of a panic attack?
It's not.
And you can breathe heavily, but nothing bad's going to happen. It's not
really
a setback. I think it's a step ahead that you're able to experience a panic attack without thinking that you're going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel so silly.
There's nothing silly about finding something out about yourself.
This is the cemetery of negative thoughts that we've got here. What does that make you think?
I've got so much pent up stuff that I could just go wallop. I just feel like just, ripping something to pieces just to...
But it's not so unusual if you had all those thoughts for all of those years. It wouldn't build up a lot of frustration, wouldn't it?
Mm.
And I think you're dealing with it in a really, really healthy way now. And I'm serious. I really think you are. This is an investment in your future, what you're doing right now. Yeah.
After her panic attack, Dr. Ruths is challenging Sarah's beliefs about breathing.
Okay, so that was 35 seconds.
So you can't suffocate yourself?
No, you can't suffocate yourself, and the body will automatically take over. What do you notice after a while, after about 30 seconds?
That your body just took a breath?
Yeah, you can rely on the fact that the body will actually breathe when it needs to breathe. Have you collapsed before?
No.
After seeing her father collapse during his illness, Laura's developed a fear of fainting.
I think it's the thought if people started rushing around if I collapsed, and the thought of having an ambulance phone. Like my dad, it was too late for him. Nothing could be done. And I think I'm scared, like, if I fainted, it means there's going to be an ambulance, possible blood tests. I'm scared of having blood tests.
I really would like you to find out what happens when somebody collapses.
What do you mean?
Well, I would like somebody to collapse.
What? No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
Laura's off to a local supermarket to experience what really happens if someone faints in a public place. Dr. Ruths will pretend to pass out at the deli counter.
God, my heart is racing like anything. And I thought he was going to do it then. I'm actually shaking. I just imagine everyone to just stop what they're doing and rush over there.
Well, all right.
Dizzy spell.
Yeah, Florian.
Someone's coming up with a chair now.
Probably haven't eaten enough today or what, I don't know.
Shocked, really. Like that bloke just carrying on with his shopping.
When I collapsed, what did you observe, how people reacted?
Not one person looked at you as they walked past. They just walked past.
How many people actually phoned an ambulance?
Nobody.
Wow.
But I got pains in my chest.
How do you explain that?
I don't know.
Have I induced a heart attack in you by collapsing?
Possibly.
How strongly believe that you're having a heart attack now?
I don't believe I'm having a heart attack.
Okay,
but then the pains, I start to think.
Are the pains still there?
No, they're going now.
Okay, good. Good. Excellent.
But part of my problem is I've lost my trust in doctors. I won't believe what they're telling me, and I think it is because of, like, they told my dad there was nothing wrong. Just seeing what my dad went through, I'm just so scared. So scared, and just knowing every part of death and just going round and round in my head.
Butterflies.
Kevin's first therapy session will take place in a public toilet.
Intrigued to know what's going to happen, really.
His fear of the AIDS virus means he's terrified of blood.
Let's just put it a bit of here and then kind of...
And Dr. Ruths has planted some fake blood on the toilet and basin.
Hi.
Hi.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay.
How are you?
I've got sort of butterflies a bit.
Butterflies
really, just a bit uneasy, I suppose. A bit.
What else do you experience?
Slightly tense.
What's your worst fear that might happen?
That I might get infected with something. That's the absolute worst.
Yeah.
Fear.
What would that something be?
Getting infected with HIV.
Okay. Perhaps use both hands for that and just touch the lock as well. Yeah.
Kevin's encouraged to face up to his fear by wiping his hands around the blood-stained toilet.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Clear the basin out. Clear the basin.
Something there though, and I can't.
Yeah. Well, just clear it out anyway.
There was something that looked like blood.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. How strongly believe now that you may be infected with HIV?
I can still see I've got something red on my finger.
What does that mean?
I want to wipe it off. Really want to get it off my hand.
Yeah, and what do you think it may mean if you've got?
It may mean that there could be some blood on my finger.
Yeah.
I want to get off.
Yeah. So if you could perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, I just really want to get it off my finger. Really.
So could you just stay with it for a moment?
Yeah.
Could you stay with it for a moment? Is that all right? Just let it dry. Perhaps just let it dry off.
Mhm.
How are you feeling in your body?
Yeah, tense again. Just sort of. Mind goes a little crazy.
Yeah. How do you strongly believe? What's your worst fear that might have happened now?
That I may have got HIV positive blood on my finger.
Yeah. Okay.
You want me to do that?
Could you do it?
I don't want to. Okay. I really would like to wash my hands properly. Can't deny.
Yeah.
An hour later, Kevin finally gets to wash his hands.
Debriefing the group today, for the first time they were all saying, I think I'm suffering from anxiety. Rather than saying I suffer from AIDS, or rather than saying I suffer from a heart attack or I've got cancer, they said, I think my problem is anxiety. And obviously that needs a bit of support and needs a bit of reaffirming over the next few days. But if they could hold on to that, that would be absolutely amazing.
But tomorrow, anxiety levels will be pushed up even further. Day 2, and Laura is struggling to move forward.
I just get a feeling of fear and I'm going to die and this is it, this is the end.
She's still looking for reassurance that she hasn't got cancer.
Can you check my glands for me, please?
No.
Do you think, in your opinion, I've got lymph node cancer?
If I had the crystal ball and X-ray view, and I would be able to answer that question, but I can't. We could go through a dictionary of illnesses, and you could ask me every single illness.
Well, the next one was, do you think I've got ovarian cancer?
Same answer would apply. You would know the answer yourself.
What would the odds of somebody my age having it?
You know the answer
I
yourself.
don't know the answer. Is it 1 in 3?
This is just reassurance
They're
seeking.
just my 2 worries. I know I'm going to get it.
We've all got uncertainty in our lives that something terrible may happen tomorrow.
But I feel like it's always happening to me.
Well,
and it never happens to anybody else.
so everybody else lives to 120 before they die?
No.
No, okay.
But I want 100% certainty.
You want 100% certainty that you won't get cancer, and I can't give you that.
In a way, I just want to sort of someone to look into a crystal ball and tell me that I'm going to be fine for the rest of my life and I'll die happy and old and no cancer.
So in order to have that certainty that's not going to happen, you're already paying with your life.
Okay, Jane, what's your fear? You would have to do to bring your anxiety out.
The group is starting to challenge Jane about her disability.
Just not being able to get somewhere that I want to get.
Frustration that you can't do something because of your legs?
I can't run, walk.
But do you not think, like with you, if there's a slim chance, like obviously Lars thinks there's a slim chance that you could be able to walk again if you get past anxiety, and maybe, just maybe, there's that slim chance.
All the doctors, the specialists have told me that's it.
No, they haven't quite said that as far as I've understood.
They said they don't know what it is, don't they?
No, yeah, that's why I went to a second. See, this is the trouble. I'm confused myself.
That slight bit of confusion, I think it also entails there's some hope.
You've never had a definitive, you cannot possibly walk again, have you? You've never had that in writing.
It's not that you can't walk, it's that they don't know why. I can really convince myself that I've got a blood clot, I've got lung cancer. So if I can convince myself that
I'm not making it up.
We don't think you are.
You know, it's not my head.
That's not what Sarah.
Making it up.
It's like people saying to me, pull yourself together.
Yeah. You can't.
But you're taking that the wrong way. It's not that it's in your head. We're not saying you're mad.
No, I know.
We're just saying that mind is so clever, and it makes me so angry that my mind can make me think of having dying and everything. But I don't think you're at the point where you can accept that the mind can even trick you.
But you know what?
Don't worry. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry.
There's nothing I can do about my legs. That's the way I am. Can't people just leave me alone?
I think that you do need some help to move forward. But just the fact that you're here and engaging in therapy, I think, is going to move things forward.
I'm always fighting, Lars. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Time for an exercise session. The next challenge for Sarah.
So what's your prediction what's going to happen?
I feel really shaky. I'm going to not be able to breathe and pass out or really hyperventilate.
Sarah believes that pushing up her heart rate could trigger heart failure.
I've got a headache.
She hasn't exercised for 5 years.
107.
You're really going to make me... It's getting a bit hard now. It's hurting me a bit.
109.
I can do this. I can do this. It's not scary. I don't feel breathless.
Yeah, you predicted at 120 you would collapse.
I haven't run for years. Superwoman!
7.1 kilometres an hour.
I'm really
Wanna go
amazed. I run. I haven't run for years.
Do you have any chest pain?
No.
It's pretty amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you. Sorry, but I haven't jogged for ages. Oh my God, I'm not frightened to look at it now.
You'll be fine.
Round of applause.
I'm a handsome man, Ghost. Very handsome. Yeah, thank you for your admiration.
Dr. Hansen is preparing another unusual experiment to try and boost Jane's self-esteem.
Jane, the idea is now.
This time her therapy will have a circus theme.
Can you see what this is? It's a clown outfit, isn't it? I would like you to put this on at some stage this afternoon. And you and I will go down to Ledbury, which is a small town.
You're joking!
And you will go up and down the high street. The idea is really that if you can cope with this, a lot of the thoughts that you have about what other people think about you, they will be put more into the background.
It's horrible! For God's sake, what are you doing to them?
I can see this is not so easy for you in your everyday life.
No, it's not. Oh, it's just, my heart is in my mouth.
It makes us stronger, these kind of things. So much stronger.
I don't know, I just feel sick.
I think her mind is probably making the symptoms stronger and increasing the weakness in her legs. That's my best guess.
Do you have some sense of achievement now?
Yeah, I did it.
That was really good, Jane. You've done well. Well done, Jane. Really good.
Back at the house, Laura's state of mind has gone from bad to worse.
My head! I'm not convinced it's just a migraine.
Oh my God.
She's now worried she's got a brain tumour.
How's Laura?
She's just got a migraine. There's nothing wrong with her, she's just got a migraine. She feels a bit sick.
Trouble is, Laura's too scared to take medication.
She's got the fear of death if she takes paracetamol, because she fears that although millions and millions of people take paracetamol every day, she will be the person that develops this one allergic reaction that happens every 10 years.
Are you sure this is a migraine and not a brain tumour or something?
If I had X-ray vision, then I'd make a comment about that, but I can't.
Oh, my head! Ow! I cannot put it in my mouth. This is what's so fucking annoying. I can't put it in my mouth.
I think you need to make a decision.
Oh my God. Oh, my head! I'm gonna die, I think. I'm going to die. My head!
Kevin's irrational fear of the AIDS virus means he's scared of homosexuals. So Dr. Ruths has brought him to a gay pub.
I'm a bit scared about what's behind those curtains. The increased possibility that there may be HIV positive people in there. And that, I might touch something or...
How would you rate your own anxiety levels at this moment of time?
Very high. Really nervous about going in here.
Kevin fears he could contract the virus by being in the same room as a gay man.
Okay. Could I have 2 pints of Stella, please? That's great, thanks very much. That's very kind. How would you feel about going to the bar and perhaps
hoarding some more stuff as well. There might be something I touched that someone else has touched, that where they might be bleeding or have something on their hands or...
This is the closest Kevin's ever been to a real live gay man. Now Dr. Ruths wants him to touch the barman's hand.
I just want to say thank you for letting us do this in here and appreciate your cooperation. Okay. His hand felt a little wet, damp when I shook his hand, so that's bothering me a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I really would quite like to look at my hand.
What would be your worst fear then?
That there's blood on my hand.
Bringing in your rational mind, going through the exercise that we went through today.
I think he's going to take us out for a long walk.
That's too nice.
Day 3, and Laura's stopped worrying about brain tumours.
How are you feeling today?
I'm not too tired, but not okay.
Really tired.
How's the level of anxiety going?
Go down.
Mine's
Where are you?
Mine's about 30, which is for a morning, it's like miraculous. Come on, what are we doing?
Well, got a big programme ahead of us today.
Time to push anxiety levels even higher with a specially designed field trip.
So what we suggest we could do, we meet some insects.
Are you joking?
We'll meet some insects.
I'm not going to. I can't touch insects. I knew you were going to say that. That's why I was so scared.
So
I didn't think you'd find my nightmare, and you have, and I don't want to go there.
So the prediction would be that you'll be bitten. What else would be?
My throat would close up.
Bees will attack you, you said?
Bees. I can't go for bees yet. I can't do that.
What would other people do in your position?
They would go to bees.
And what's the difference between you and other people?
But they can rationalise it, but I can't. I don't want to go to bees. Are you alright with bees? Get your ivory.
As long as I don't get stung or bitten.
How anxious are you now at this moment of time?
98, I think, inside.
98 of 100, so that's you really maximum anxiety?
Yeah.
And what do you think will happen if you get stung?
My throat will close up, I have a shock, and I'll die.
Oh my god! I got a wasp near my ear, I just heard it buzzing.
Don't worry.
Oh my god.
Look, she's really, really close. Do you think you will go a bit closer?
I'll do a couple of steps. I'm not that close.
That's great. Yeah.
And then slide your fingers along the other thing.
Yeah.
There you are.
Oh my god, look at that one.
So I just wanted to ask you, how are you feeling now?
It's gone down to about 70 now.
It's gone down to about 70. How do you explain that?
Because I'm riding with the anxiety.
Can we persuade you to hold it?
But will you do it so it's not too long, so you're ready to take it?
I'll take it immediately, you said. There you are.
Fantastic. How does that make you feel?
Proud. I'm doing it.
Yes. Very, very good.
Can you take it? Is that right? You got it?
Yeah.
Well
oh my god!
done.
What is it? I did it!
Well done, well done.
As the day progresses, the grief at the heart of Laura's problem is finally starting to reveal itself.
I do blame myself for my dad dying. I've always thought stress is the main cause of cancer, and I caused my dad stress as a teenager, and that might have been what triggered his cancer. I was there when he died. And he just breathed out his last breath and went. I just shouted, "Dad, no, no." He's going, he's gone. That's it, he's gone. I've not seen my dad for 7 years. He's gone. It's so awful. I think I just wanted to take it away from him, and I couldn't. And I think that's why I've just... I think I do just sort of try to imagine how awful it was for my dad. I just remember when they took him in, and all the, like, me, my mum and my sister and my granddad were there, and he was coming round from having a stroke, and they were doing all the tests on him right in front of us. And I think that's why I'm so scared of having blood tests and scans and things done, because that was the day when they did a scan on his brain and found 2 brain tumours. I didn't realise this before, but I can see it now. But why have I tried to take on all his pain?
Well, that's a good question. I don't think I've got the answer for that. And the question is, are you motivated, or are you willing to continue to take on that pain, or would you like to give up some of that?
I want to give it up and enjoy my life. Feel normal. Because I know my dad wouldn't want me to be feeling like this now. Suffering 6 years on from it.
Yeah.
It's the final day of therapy. Kevin must now confront his ultimate fear. Tom, who is gay and HIV positive.
Well, the big one. As bad as it could be, really, I suppose, without, sharing intimate relations with somebody. Or sharing a needle or something, it's about as bad as it gets. I don't know how I'm going to react or how I'm going to be. I suppose there's only one way to find out, isn't there?
Okay.
Hi there.
Hi. Come in. Have a seat over here.
Will do. Thank you. Okay.
Seat there. Great. So we've got Kevin here. He still, has got very, very powerful beliefs about how absolutely devastating it would be if he ever got infected. What's your experience of, being infected with it 21 years?
When I was diagnosed in '86, it literally was a death sentence. They gave me 2 years. And now, since the combination drugs came out in '96, it's very much live the rest of your life as per normal.
You were worried about cuddling family and all this?
Well, yeah, it's just, I don't know, the guilt that I would feel if, I was cuddling my little girl and somehow I, infected her with something. I feel awful.
This is the first time you've been in a room where the virus is in that room. But, unless I had bleeding hands and shook your bleeding hands...
Yes, it's just not a risk.
It's not a risk.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming here. And,
don't say thank you. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. I really do thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom. Pleasure. Thanks.
Really nice to meet you. Yeah, thank you.
I'm so amazed that you
I feel completely right. So I have gone a bit funny now, just after shaking his hand, but I did want to, because I feel such a lovely man, and I know there's no risk or anything. Yeah. You've blown a lot of my theories out of the water yet again.
He did it himself. He came forward and did it himself, and I think it was very brave. He took on the spirit of facing his demons, facing his worst fears himself.
Jane will return home in her wheelchair. But Dr. Hansen is still confident about her future.
Do you think she'll ever get out of that chair?
If indeed it is the mind that's playing a trick, I think there is a possibility, but I think it'll be difficult because there's so much of her identity that's bound up in being in the wheelchair. But maybe, just maybe.
I can't see it yet because I've only just started with dealing with myself. So that was a big milestone in itself. So who knows? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So
Lars still believes you'll get out of the chair.
he can believe what he likes.
Just hope and pray it's done something.
Laura has made progress, but issues around her father's death will need a lot more work.
She thinks she's responsible for his death, and we try to do some work around reframing that for her and explaining to her that she's not responsible for her father's death at all. But I think it brought out a lot of issues, perhaps also unresolved grief reaction that she hasn't dealt with. So I think she will definitely need further therapy.
But a long weekend of treatment has brought about big changes for Sarah.
What have you found out with regards to reassurance seeking?
It doesn't work and it's very annoying.
Who's it annoying for?
The other people.
And you look so chilled. I mean, that's
It's really worked for me. I was saying, you asked me how anxious I am. It's the lowest I've been for months.
This is the best outcome she could possibly have. But really finding out none of her fears are actually sort of based in reality. They're excessive fears that are often brought on by anxiety itself.
Something's clicked. On and off for 20 years, I'm not lying, for about 20 years, it has been me running from my anxiety. It's just popping up in different forms, and it will change. That sounds really corny, but it will change my quality of life if I can accept anxiety. I know, and I'm so happy.
Since returning home, Kevin has stopped obsessing about HIV.
I feel good.
Jane is continuing with therapy. Sarah has stopped visiting the doctors. And 3 months later, Laura has finally made an important step forward.
It was just knowing too much about health, and I suppose because I knew every stage of death, and it was just overloading my brain with just so many thoughts and worries, and I've stopped going on the internet, and it's the best thing I've ever done. I do feel bad in a way to say I'm letting my dad go, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop loving him. I've accepted that he's died, I've accepted that he's gone. I don't need to think about him all the time. I've moved on.